Welcome back. This is Pharma Careers, clear role breakdowns, practical skills, and step-by-step career roadmaps.
All right, let's talk about cracking the code on one of the fastest growing career paths out there, clinical research. If you've ever wanted to get in but just had no idea where to even start, well, this is for you. Does this feel familiar? Yeah? Maybe you've sent out a bunch of applications, gotten a few rejections, and you've landed right here, thinking this exact thought. It's a super common feeling, believe me. But here's the thing, it's not impossible. You just need the right map. Okay, so let's reframe this whole thing. The problem isn't that you're hitting some giant brick wall. The real problem is you're standing at the entrance to a maze, and you don't know which paths actually lead anywhere. Success in this field isn't about brute force. It's all about strategy and, most importantly, choosing the right way in. And that brings us to the three main doors into the clinical research world. Seriously, understanding the difference between a clinical research coordinator, a clinical trial assistant, and a clinical research associate it's absolutely the first step. They might sound kind of similar, but trust me, they are fundamentally different jobs. First up, we've got the CRC. Think of this person as the general on the ground, right there at the hospital or the clinic. They're working face-to-face with patients, handling things like informed consent, scheduling appointments, and just making sure everything at the site follows the study plan, what we call the protocol. If you love being where the action is, close to patient care, this is a huge one to look at. Next, we have the CTA. Now, this role is more like the central nervous system of the trial, usually based in an office. These are the masters of process and organization. They're the ones tracking all the documents, making sure that super important trial master file, the TMF, is in perfect order and coordinating all the logistics behind the scenes. It's all about making sure the engine of the whole project is running like a well-oiled machine. And finally, the CRA. This is the monitor, the auditor of the clinical trial world. CRAs actually travel to the different sites to double-check that the study is being run correctly, that the data is spot on, and that everything is following the regulations, like good clinical practice, or GCP. As you can imagine, this role comes with a whole lot of responsibility. So when you put them all side by side like this, it really starts to click, right? You've got the CRC, who is at the site, focused on patients. The CTA is in the office, focused on all that paperwork and process, and the CRA is the traveler, going to the sites, focused on compliance. See? Each one has its own unique place and purpose. So, with those three doors laid out so clearly, the big question is, which one is the right one for you to open? This is where you really have to be honest with yourself and match the job to your skills and, what you actually like to do. Let's break it down into the two main entry points. The CRC path, that's your ticket if you really thrive on being in a clinical setting, interacting with people and patients. But the CTA path, that's your door if you're someone who gets a ton of satisfaction from creating order out of chaos, managing documents, and perfecting a process. So, just take a second. Which one of those sounds more like you? Now, this is so important, so listen up. A lot of people see the CRA job and think, that's it, that's the one I want, and they apply for it first. But here's the reality. The CRA role is almost always the second step in your career. You build your foundation as a great CRC or a great CTA first. That hands-on experience is exactly what companies are looking for in a new CRA. Okay, so you've maybe got an idea of a path. Now what? It's time to get practical. Let's start building your toolkit so you can walk into an interview and not just tell them you're ready, but actually show them. The plan to get you there is a simple but really powerful three-step process. First, you got to learn to speak the language of clinical research. Second, you need to build some real, tangible proof of your skills. And third, you're going to use all that to tailor your resume perfectly. Learning the lingo is like knowing the secret password. Honestly, when you can walk in and talk confidently about what a protocol deviation is, or the steps of the informed consent process, or the purpose of the TMF, you immediately signal to everyone that you're serious and you've done your homework. Now, this one's a total game changer. Instead of just writing, "I'm organized" on your resume, what if you actually created a sample TMF document tracker? Instead of just saying you get the process, what if you drafted a basic outline of a monitoring report? These little proof assets are amazing because they show initiative and a real-world understanding of the job. And look, underneath everything we're talking about are these core skills. Clinical research absolutely runs on two things: compliance and timelines. So having an awareness of good clinical practice, being super disciplined with your documentation, and having a deep respect for deadlines, well, those are just non-negotiables. Getting your foot in the door is awesome, but it's really just the beginning. The secret to a fast-growing, rewarding career in this field is all about building the right professional identity right from day one. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? This industry values stability, it values organization, and it really, really values people who can stay calm when things inevitably get a little crazy. If you can build a reputation for being that person, the one who's always organized and stays cool under pressure, your career can take off incredibly fast. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this question. It's not just about which job you should apply for. It's about what kind of professional you want to become. So think about it, build that toolkit, and go choose your door. Your path is waiting for you.
If this helped, like and subscribe. Watch the next video in Pharma Careers for the next role breakdown.